Kiev, 2022. The city was falling apart, buildings turned to dust, streets echoing with sirens and screams. I was just a nurse, or at least I used to be. That night, when they carried him in, a soldier with pale skin and a fading pulse, something inside me broke. I looked into his eyes and saw a story ending too soon. They said he wouldn't survive the night. But I couldn't walk away. Have you ever loved someone knowing time was your enemy? Tell me in the comments. Would you stay and fight for a love already dying, or let go before it destroyed you too? The hospital smelled of antiseptic and smoke. Outside, Kiev burned, but inside, time slowed. I held my hands over the gash in his chest, trying to stop the bleeding. Every pulse felt weaker. I asked myself, do I risk my career and my life to save him, or do I step back? What would you do if it were your choice? His eyes flickered open, clouded with pain, yet they searched mine as if asking for reassurance. He whispered something I couldn't catch over the roar of sirens. My heart clenched. In that moment, I realized I wasn't just a nurse anymore. I was his lifeline, his only hope. The nights were endless. I stayed by his side, whispering words that felt too small against the war raging outside. Each explosion shook the walls, but I refused to leave. I cleaned his wounds, held his hand, and wondered if love could survive in a place designed to destroy everything beautiful. I discovered his secret one evening, hidden in a crumpled letter beneath his pillow. He wasn't just a soldier. He carried critical information, something that could change the war's course. Suddenly, saving him wasn't just about love or life. It was about survival, strategy, and morality. As days passed, his condition worsened. Doctors urged me to let go. Commanders warned me I was risking everything. But I couldn't. Each time he drifted close to death, I fought harder. I asked myself, and now I ask you, would you let someone slip away, knowing they held a piece of your heart? One night, a shell exploded nearby. Dust rained from the ceiling. I shielded him with my body, praying, hating the war for making these decisions necessary. He coughed, weak but alive. I realized then that love in war isn't gentle. It's a battlefield where every heartbeat counts. We shared quiet moments in the chaos. He smiled once, so faintly it nearly broke me. Do you ever wonder, he whispered, if life outside this madness will be real for us? I wanted to answer, but the truth was terrifying. I didn't know if there would be an outside. I started recording notes, documenting his condition, the battles, the choices. It became a ritual. It was my way to stay grounded, to remind myself that humanity could exist even in the darkest corners of war. Would you have kept hope alive this way, even when everything screamed surrender? The soldiers around us began to distrust me. They thought my care was a weakness, a distraction. Some whispered, others openly scorned me. Betrayal tasted bitter, yet I stayed. Every choice carried consequences. Every glance held danger. In war, even love can be a weapon. Finally, when dawn broke over the shattered skyline, he took my hand and squeezed. I could feel the weight of every decision I'd made, the risks, the defiance, the love. The city outside was silent, yet inside, my heart thundered. I asked myself, did I do enough? And now I ask you, what would you have done if you were me? What would you have done to save someone you loved in the middle of war? Tell me in the comments. I want to know your choice. The hospital became a fragile sanctuary. Every creak of the floorboards, every distant explosion reminded me we were still alive, but barely. Daniel's breaths were shallow, each one a battle. I asked myself, and you? Would you stay by someone's side if each moment could be their last? He started sharing fragments of his past. A younger brother lost in another battle, a village destroyed, friends who vanished like smoke. His pain became mine. Could I keep holding on, knowing that love was entwined with unbearable sorrow? Supplies ran low. Medications, bandages, even food became scarce. I rationed everything, sharing my meager meals with him. It was no longer just about healing his body. It was about surviving together, defying the impossible odds stacked against us. One morning, A soldier I trusted approached me with a warning. Someone planned to remove Daniel from the hospital, to silence him forever. Fear twisted my stomach. Should I confront the threat directly, or find a way to escape quietly? What would you do in this situation? The tension outside mirrored the tension inside. We hid in the shadowed corners of the hospital, whispering hopes and confessions. I realized love was no longer just a feeling, it was a rebellion, a defiance against a world that wanted to crush us. His conditions suddenly worsened. Fever, trembling, labored breathing. I worked tirelessly, administering every treatment I knew. Sleep became a luxury, replaced by endless vigilance. Could my determination outpace fate itself, or was I powerless against the cruelty of war? At night, when the city seemed quieter, he grasped my hand and asked if I would ever leave him. I felt the weight of my choices, risking career, risking life, risking everything. My answer was silent, but my actions spoke louder than words. Rumors began to circulate among the staff that our bond was dangerous, that I had compromised myself by caring too deeply. Betrayal lurked not just in war, but in the hearts of those around us. I had to decide, confront the whispers or ignore them and focus solely on him. One day, I discovered a note he had written but never shared, a farewell message, just in case he didn't survive. My hands trembled as I read his words, realizing that even in the middle of despair, hope and love could coexist. Would you have the courage to cherish someone knowing the end could come at any moment? By the 10th day, exhaustion weighed on us both. Yet somehow, we kept fighting. Each heartbeat became a promise, each whispered word a lifeline. And though I knew the war outside could still take him, in that fragile hospital room, love had carved its own space, defiant, unyielding, and painfully human. What choices would you have made to protect someone you loved, knowing every moment could be their last? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I want to see your answer. The morning light revealed the devastation outside, but inside the hospital, the world had narrowed to just the two of us. Daniel's hand clung to mine with fragile strength. Every breath he took felt like a victory, every exhale a reminder of the fragility of life. I had to make a decision. There was one risky procedure left that could save him, but it might also cost him everything. Should I attempt it, trusting my hands and hope, or let nature take its course? What would you have done if it were your life on the line? We prepared together. I whispered reassurances, though my heart pounded with fear. He smiled faintly, trying to comfort me instead. I realized that courage wasn't only his. It lived in me now too. Together, we faced the impossible. The operation began, each second stretching like an eternity. Outside, shells rattled the building, but I focused only on him. Every cut, every stitch, every drop of blood carried the weight of our intertwined fates. Could love truly save someone when the world itself seemed determined to destroy them? Hours passed. Finally, he opened his eyes. Weak, trembling, but alive. Relief washed over me, mixed with exhaustion and disbelief. Yet, I couldn't ignore the shadows around us. The war was not over, and survival was only temporary. In the quiet that followed, Daniel revealed his secret fully. The information he carried could still turn the tide. He had trusted me not just with his life, but with the fate of countless others. The weight of responsibility crushed me and, strangely, gave me purpose. We shared a fleeting moment of normalcy, laughing softly over memories and dreams that might never come true. Outside, Kiev remained a battlefield, but inside that room, humanity endured. Could small acts of love and courage truly survive in a world built on destruction? Eventually, we were forced to evacuate the hospital. Carrying him through rubble-strewn streets, I realized that love is sometimes a quiet rebellion, a choice to defy fear, despair, and death itself. What would you risk to keep someone alive? At the edge of the city, I paused. Daniel looked at me with gratitude and fear intertwined. I knew the future was uncertain. I didn't know if he would survive the journey ahead, or if we would see peace again. But for that moment, we had chosen life together. And now, as we walked into the uncertain dawn, I ask you to reflect. Sometimes love doesn't have a happy ending, but it leaves a mark deeper than any war can erase. If you were in my place, would you have fought as I did? Share your thoughts in the comments, and remember, courage and compassion can shine even in the darkest times. Final reflection for viewers. Love and courage are not measured by endings, but by the choices we make in impossible circumstances. What would you risk to save someone you truly care about? The war ended, but inside me, it never did. I saved lives, yet lost the only one I truly wanted to keep. Sometimes love isn't about happy endings. It's about the courage to feel something real in the middle of chaos. If you were in my place, would you have risked everything for him? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters more than you think. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next story will touch you even deeper.